So come on in, take your shoes off, have a seat, and consider staying a while by clicking that subscribe button. So I am in the car because I'm on my way to take my dog to the vet. Unfortunately, he was at my parents' house yesterday. We went over there for Father's Day, and we were swimming, and like around their pool they have like landscaping, and their landscaping is made up of sheetrock. So it's like thin black rocks, and they can be very sharp if you hit them wrong. And I watched our dog come down the landscaping, and when he got to the bottom he started limping everywhere, and so I went over to look at his paws, and he literally like shaved off the first layer of his paw padding. He's not bleeding or anything, it doesn't look infected, but I like wrapped it up. I was trying to see if we could just make it heal on its own, and I don't think it's going to. He's like not eating or drinking, and he hasn't like wanted to get up all day, so that's really sad to see because he's like my baby. And now I have to drive an hour to our old vet because we moved, and the vet in our new area isn't taking new clients. So that is why I'm in the car, but that is not why you clicked on this video. I'm just saying, if it's in your thoughts or prayers today, just say a prayer for our dog that he can heal quickly, and this vet bill is not going to be that expensive. But I was at our new house, and we were working on our homestead today, and we have a family member who volunteered to help us paint because I am almost 9 months pregnant, and I can't really like paint. I'm not supposed to be like stretching and moving around and stuff like that, and so she has very graciously come over and has taken over painting at our house, and I just feel very blessed that she's doing that. But I was talking to her, and she made the comment, like, because she actually preps too. One of the greatest things that you can do for yourself and for your family is inform them about not prepping, because some people like that'll be turn off to them, but just be like, hey, like, have you ever thought about what would happen if like we had an emergency and you couldn't go to the grocery store, or you know, we couldn't get a hold of the police? Like, what would you do? And just start that conversation and get them prepping, but use different terminology, if you hear what I'm saying. Like, that's the best thing you can do, is get your friends and family involved, not only because then, you know, they'll be taken care of in an emergency, but also because they're less likely to show up at your doorstep. And if they do, they'll be prepared and can contribute to your own preps. Susan and I have actually talked to her about like emergencies and stuff, and she's actually jumped on the prepping train, survival train, whatever you want to call it. And so we talk quite often about things we're hearing and things that we're doing to be like more self-sustaining and stuff like that. And we were talking about that today while she was painting, and I was sitting there working on some schoolwork, and she made the comment, well, things better start happening the way these preppers are saying they're going to happen, or I'm going to start losing faith. I asked her, I was like, well, what do you mean by that? And she's like, well, all these different prepper YouTubers and like these prepper podcasts and different like news things that I watch, they all keep saying this and this is going to happen on this date, and it doesn't happen, and it's just really discouraging. And you know, she's like, it's kind of like, well, why am I prepping if nothing's going to happen? It kind of made me chuckle a little bit, because I was like, in the back of my head I was thinking, like, I'm glad that things haven't happened. Like, I come from the standpoint, and maybe other people like are just ready for doomsday and they like that kind of thing. I'm not really sure, maybe they watched way too many Hollywood movies, but I'm from the standpoint, like, I'm glad that nothing happened, and I hope and I pray to God that I am wrong. I will be wrong all day if like we can just continue life as normal, if we can just, you know, continue at least life in a state where we have somewhat of control of our lives. Like, I'll be wrong all day. I'll be the first person to say I am wrong. I'm sorry. I'm glad that didn't happen. You know, I don't want SHTF or even a huge disaster emergency to happen. And so we kind of had that discussion, and I thought, you know what, this might be a great YouTube video. Maybe other people feel this way too. But the thing is that we shouldn't prep because we're expecting something to happen. The reason why we prep is because we don't know what's going to happen. Yes, it's expensive. Yes, it's time consuming. Yes, it's a lifestyle and something that you continuously have to do. But we do that in order to, you know, be prepared if something actually happens. And like I said, hopefully it doesn't. And if you continue to prep and you get good at it and you kind of get your routine down, it's actually not, once you get your basic stuff, it's not expensive. It actually saves you money because you're buying things that you use and you just replace them. I'm specifically talking obviously like food supplies, medical supply, that kind of thing. But if you learn to do it correctly and efficiently, then it's not that big of a burden. But just because nothing's happening doesn't mean that we stop prepping. I mean, the reason why you have a save account or savings account is for a rainy day, for the unknowns. You don't go 10 years without having some big expense, whether it be medical or an extra mortgage payment or whatever, and you're saving money. You don't go, well, nothing's happening, so I'm just gonna go spend all my savings. Like, no, like you continue to save, and that way, you know, you not only are insured if something does happen, but you're also setting yourself up for a really good future. It's literally no different with prepping. Like I said, you're prepping things that you use on a daily basis. Don't prep things that you're not going to use. I mean, there's some things like, you know, -0 degree weather, sleeping bags, or like a ham radio, that kind of stuff. Obviously you're not going to use on a daily basis, and those will be your expensive items, and those will be items that you're gonna have to decide if you want to be a part of your prep. It's easy to get prepper burnout and like be stressed about it, and I think that a lot of people think that it's all or nothing, so they think if they're not spending like $1,000 a month on preps, then they're not in the prepper game, or they get like fatigued or whatever. But prepping can be as simple as picking up an extra can of tomato soup at the store every time you go, or an extra this or an extra that. It doesn't have to be like stockpiling like massive amounts of food every single week. I don't honestly know who could afford to do that anyway, especially in this economy, but so that's just something to keep in mind. But so going back to, do I keep prepping even though nothing's happening? And my answer would be yes, because you never know when something's gonna happen. And again, it doesn't have to be like the sky's falling, aliens are coming, zombies are attacking everybody type of an emergency. It could be as simple as bad weather knocks a tree into your house and you have to figure out how to live for a month off of the food that you've stocked. Things like that. Like, it doesn't have to be go big or go home or anything like that, but I do think it is so important to keep prepping, because like I said, we're not God. We don't know what's gonna happen. We never know what's gonna happen, and that is why we prep. We prep for the unknown, not the known. As far as listening to different podcasts and prepper channels and that kind of thing, which I do too, but I will say, we are all human. You know, at the end of the day, I'm just a normal average day American sitting down in front of a camera and hearing myself talk. Like, I am just giving my opinions. I am just trying to help people out and spread knowledge to the best of my ability. And oftentimes, and sometimes, we're wrong. You know, we get misinformation. We can only go off of the information that's being reported or that our sources are telling us. We're not God. So we're gonna make mistakes, and we're not perfect. And that's why I'm very careful what I put out on my channel, unless I have like, I'm sure of something being true. I don't generally like post a video on something that's happening until it's been confirmed, because I never want to lead someone astray. Now, some preppers do any information they get just put out there, because at the end of the day, they want you to be informed and they want you to make your own decisions. So that's my next point, is always do your own research. Don't just go off of what somebody is saying because they have 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. Check different like news outlets and that type of thing, and take what we're saying here with a grain of salt. All right, well, I just parked at the vet. I got to get my pooch in there and see if we can fix his paws. And that's going to be it for this video. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. It's free. It only takes a second, and it really helps my channel out. And I'll catch you all in the next one.